there, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. My name is Muphidaht and I would like it if you click down below to subscribe to my channel. In today's video, I've been getting so many requests from you guys. I've even gotten emails from some of you telling me that you want a beginner friendly makeup tutorial that's gonna show you what you need as a beginner and how to use it. So I'm sorry in advance for like the length or how long this video is going to be, because it's gonna be really detailed. I'm gonna show you guys what you need and how to use it, including products and brushes. So if you want to see how this video goes down, carry on watching and let's just get right into it. You want to start off with your eyebrows. If you are a beginner, it's a little less messy to do your eyebrows before your foundation. Once you get a grip of it, you can try out doing your eyebrows after your foundation, and then you figure out which one you're comfortable with. So I'm going in with a spoolie. This is a brow spoolie brush. This is what it looks like, and I'm going with the one from Evita Joseph. This brush is used to just brush your brow hairs up and, you know, spread out the brow product. As you guys know, I got my brows micro bladed, so I don't really need to do much to my brows, but I have a detailed brow tutorial on my channel which I have linked down below in the description box. So for the brow product, I'm using the Evita Joseph Expert brow liner in the shade Rich Expresso. So I'm literally just going to follow the shape of my brows and fill out the portions that I need to fill out. Okay guys, so this is literally all I'm doing for my brows. I'm gonna go back in with a spoolie and just brush through my brows to make sure that the brow product I put in there is well blended out, is evenly distributed. The spoolie brush looks like sort of a mascara wand. Fun fact, when I didn't have a spoolie, I used to use one of my finished mascaras. I just washed it thoroughly and I use it to brush my brow hair, so you can just do that if you want to. So the next step is to prime. I'm gonna go in and of course sculpt my brows out, but not just now, because I want to apply primer and apply my foundation. I'm going in with my Fenty Beauty True Matte Pro Filter Mattifying Primer. I have oily combination skin, so I tend to gravitate towards matte primers. I love those primers because they really work well with my skin. This is one of the primers. Let me know if you want to see an affordable version of this video. I'd be glad to do that for you guys. So as a beginner, you need a really good primer that's gonna work for your skin type. So if you have dry skin, you want to reach out for a primer that is moisturizing enough, that's gonna keep your face looking good, making your makeup look good on it as well. So you definitely don't want to use something drying if you have dry skin. So straight off the bat, I just use products that are matte because my skin is combination oily. Using something that is glowy or too moisturizing, as I categorize it, is not gonna work for me. Google is so helpful when it comes to this. You just go in and you type primers for dry skin, primers for normal skin, primers for oily skin, and they're gonna give you drugstore or high-end. So yeah, you can just use that to find products that work for you. If you have my skin type, great, because I always suggest products on this channel. The next step is to color correct. I use the LA Pro Conceal color corrector, the orange corrector. This is definitely on the affordable side. I have hyperpigmentation on my face, I have dark spots on my face, so I like to color correct. I always suggest that you color correct because it makes your skin look flawless. It makes your base appear even, because that's the entire goal of makeup, to have flawless and even skin and to just look good enhance your features and whatnot. For color correction, you literally just want to use just a tad bit of product. So I'm just gonna go over my problem areas where I have dark spots and discolorations so that I cover them up. You can skip this step if you're using a full coverage foundation, but I want to insert everything in this video, so you literally pick and choose what suits you. So I have a damp beauty blender. This beauty blender is from Morphe. I made it wet and then I squeezed the excess into a tissue. So I'm gonna go over with a beauty blender. I'm just going to start to blend the product. You wanna blend it out to make sure it's even and not chunky on the skin. I'm going ahead to squeeze my beauty blender into my tissue. I often do this because I generally use one beauty blender per makeup tutorial or one beauty blender whenever I'm doing my makeup, because I use brushes as well. Some people use beauty blender for their entire face. That's completely fine if that's comfortable with you, but I am not comfortable doing that. So I like to have a tissue to squeeze in all the excess products, and as you can see, there's a lot of excess products on here, so that I don't transfer the orange corrector onto my foundation or onto my concealer. That's definitely why I just do this step. You can definitely avoid doing that. So for the next step, I'm gonna just suggest a tip. You can skip this step and go straight onto foundation, but I like to use a very light layer of setting powder to set my color corrector in place. Mind you, the color corrector is a cream product and it can still move around, especially if you have oily skin. You don't want it mixing with your foundation and having your entire face look orange. You want to avoid that. So how I tend to do that is to use a setting powder, and I'm gonna show you how I do that. I'm using the Huda Beauty setting powder in the shade Blondie. So I'm just gonna go in with just a little bit of setting powder. Definitely gonna pack the excess at the back of my hand, and I'm just gonna go over the areas that I put the color corrector, just to make sure that it is set and it doesn't move around on my face. So the next step, I'm gonna jump on straight into foundation. I'm gonna be using the Huda Beauty Full Filter High Coverage Foundation. This foundation is full coverage, so you can definitely skip the color corrector step. But like I said, I needed to include it here because I said I was going to show you guys what you need to get as a beginner. So you can pick and choose whichever you want to use or whatever suits or floats your boat. I put the foundation at the back of my hand and I'm just going to apply it all over my face. To blend out my foundation, I'm gonna be using a brush. I typically like to use a brush to blend out my foundation because I just feel like it gives me a nicer look. I'm using the Morphe M439 brush. I'm gonna use that to blend out my foundation. So I'm just going to keep tapping on it like this. Now we are going back to the eyebrows. I'm gonna sculpt out my eyebrows using my foundation first because I find that this just takes my eyebrow game to a different level. So I'm going to use my brush from Morphe. I'm using the M124 brush. It's just a flat brush. I'm gonna use that to go over the bottom part of my brows. Now I'm gonna go ahead and buff that out. This foundation is a matte foundation, so you wanna make sure that you blend any matte foundations out if you apply them right away, because they're gonna get like patchy. You see, it's already being a little difficult to blend it out because I made it sit too long. So for the top part of the brows, you can skip sculpting it out, but obviously it might not be the perfect shape that you want, so you just want to go over it. And I suggest that you go over the top part of your brows with foundation, because you don't want like a line above your brows, because typically the foundation you use is going to be the same shade as what's on your face, but the concealer that you use is going to be a little lighter. So I suggest that you use a foundation to sculpt the top part of your brows. So again, I'm just going to use the same brush. I'm just going to go over the top part of my brows. Now I'm just going to blend it out. You want to blend out as soon as you apply it. Again, blend as you go. Okay, now that you're done with your brows and everything on your face looks nice and uniform, you want to go ahead and put some dimension back onto your face. I'm gonna do that by sculpting, which is contouring and highlighting my face. So for highlighting, you typically need a concealer that is 2 to 3 shades lighter than your actual skin tone. And to contour is to put shadows and also enhance like the sculpt, or make your face look a little more structured. That is the whole goal of contouring. So I typically like to contour first. I always suggest that you use 2 to 3 shades darker than you. Don't go a little further, otherwise your contour is gonna appear too harsh. So I'm using the Juvia's Place stick foundation in the shade Benin. So for contouring, you typically want to go around the hairline. If you have a smaller forehead than mine, you don't really need to bother about contouring your forehead. It's really not necessary. But if your forehead is as big as mine, go ahead and go crazy with the contour on your forehead. So I like to contour my cheekbones as well. I'm putting it right on top of my cheekbones, and I'm gonna go over my jawline as well, because I like to contour there to give me a little structure. And I'm going to go down the sides of the bridge of my nose. You just want to look down like so, and literally just follow from right under your brow down the bridge of your nose. So you want to do the same for the other side. Yeah, so that's about it for the contouring. So now to blend out my contour, I'm gonna go in with the Morphe E40 brush. It's a brush like this and it's slanted, so this is going to be easier to blend out your contour with. So I'm gonna start off with my chin or my jawline, just to make sure that I don't forget to blend that side. You can always start anywhere you want, but I like to do this because I sometimes forget to blend it out and I just end up having a dark line on my chin and my jawline when I go out, which is definitely not flattering. So yeah, you want to blend it out very well. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend my forehead. I'm gonna blend that into my hairline. So for my cheeks or cheekbones, I'm gonna blend it upwards. This is where this brush is like really useful, because as you can see, it just falls right onto my cheekbones. So for highlighting, I'm gonna be using my Too Faced Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer in the shade Warm Sand. This is about 3 shades lighter than me, and I'm going to use that to conceal and highlight. So for concealing, you want to conceal your under eyes like so. I'm also gonna bring that onto the bridge of my nose, the center of the bridge of my nose. to highlight, and also I'm gonna put that at the center of my forehead to bring some light on there as well. I'm also gonna put just a little bit on here because I like to do that, and I'm gonna put a little bit on my chin as well. Okay, so that is pretty much it for the highlighting, and I'm gonna go ahead and blend it out. I'm gonna blend out my highlighter with my Real Techniques contour brush. I always use this brush because honestly there's nothing like this brush. I really do love using it to blend out my highlights. Of course, you can blend it out with the beauty blender, that's okay too. I typically like to blend out what's under my eyes and the bridge of my nose last, just because allowing the concealer to sit there a little bit more is just going to give you a fuller coverage. You can blend it out as soon as you apply it, like I did with the other parts of my face. But if the concealer is a matte one, you don't want to let it sit for too long, otherwise it's going to be difficult to blend it out. So I'm going to go ahead and blend out what's under my eyes. Okay guys, I'm gonna blend out what's on the bridge of my nose with a smaller brush. This is the CB8 brush. It's just a pointed fluffy brush. That's just going to allow me to blend it out efficiently. I don't want the products to move all over the place, so I definitely like using a smaller brush for the bridge of my nose. Now for the sides of the bridge of my nose, this is a slanted brush, a small eyeshadow brush. This is from AOA Studio. I've had these brushes in my collection for a while, so I'm just going to use that to blend out the sides of my nose. So guys, I'm gonna go over my face. I'm gonna use a beauty blender just to blend everything together and take off any excess product. Okay guys, I have a creasing problem, so I'm gonna do this quick. I like to go under my brows again with the same concealer that I highlighted with to give me the impression of like the brow bone highlight. Typically after you get your brows waxed or shaped or whatever it is you do, there's that nice look there. So I'm gonna just recreate that with a lighter concealer, and I'm gonna drag the concealer down my eyelids to prime them, just killing two birds with one stone. So we're gonna use the same brush that we use to sculpt out the brows. I'm gonna go ahead and set my face. I'm gonna be using my Huda Beauty setting powder. This is an amazing setting powder. Now you want to go in with a little and slowly build up, because this powder is on the heavier side. It gives an airbrushed finish, but you need to go in with little and slowly build up as your skin needs it. I definitely advise that you need to set the cream products on your face before you go ahead and use any powder. So I'm gonna start with under my eyes and around my mouth, because those are the areas that I crease most definitely, and I'm gonna go ahead and set the rest of my face. I should probably share this tip with you guys. If you're gonna set a place and it just looks like it's creasing, literally just go in with the brush that you used to set it previously, or the beauty blender that you used to set it previously, and literally just go over the area, light taps, and yeah, you're done. And you want to go ahead and set it right away. That's all I do because you know I'm prone to creasing, and that literally saves me so much. Now I definitely like to set my entire face, because like I said, every other powder that you go ahead and apply onto your face is gonna try to set a cream product on your face. So because I have oily skin, I tend to like to use my setting powder, a light layer of course, to set my entire face before going in with any other powders. I don't know, I feel like this might be too much if you have dry skin, but if you have oily skin, this is definitely a step to take. But if your skin is dry, you can go ahead and just use like your typical pressed powder, a light layer of pressed powder with a big brush, which I'm still gonna do because I need to show you guys. But if you have oily skin, it's definitely better to use a setting powder to set your entire face. Don't go in heavy, just go in very, very light so that you don't overwhelm your face. Now I've set my entire face. I like to do this very much. Feel free to skip it if you have dry skin, like I said earlier, or you feel like this is too much for you. This is what I do so that every other product that I apply, like the powder that I apply, is gonna like look toned down and look airbrushed. I realize that when I don't set the rest of my face and I go straight ahead and maybe apply bronzer, it just looks really patchy, and I do not like that. So I'm gonna bake. I like to bake because again, I just like the feel of baking. Also, baking under my eyes tends to catch fallout from my eyeshadow, and I like to do the reverse contour just because it gives me like an extra snatch under my cheekbone highlights. Feel free to skip those. So I'm just going to start baking from the sides of my nose downwards. With baking, you don't want to push the powder in. You definitely just want to leave it on the surface of the skin. This might be too much if you have dry skin, so you want to avoid it. Also, I'm gonna do the reverse contour. I really love the Morphe beauty blender because of this part of it. It's so great. So this is typically when I'm going to put a pause on my face and I'm gonna focus on the eyes. So we're gonna do a really nice eyeshadow today. Also, I'm gonna take you through that eyeshadow, and yeah, let's get into it. Okay guys, so for eyeshadow, I'm gonna be going in with my Jackie Aina X Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow palettes. This is a great beginner friendly eyeshadow palette because you can create multiple looks with it. You can create everyday looks with it, and you can definitely do something very glamorous. I'm gonna go in with the shade Ginger. I'm gonna put that into my crease. So I'm gonna put in my CVL Beauty blending brush. This is the 055 brush, and I'm gonna tap off the excess and just start to blend that into my crease. So with my Evita Joseph Classic large shader brush, I'm gonna go into the shade Supreme, this shade, and I'm gonna put that all over my eyelid. Now with a smaller blending brush, this is the Evita Joseph Deluxe Crease brush. I'm gonna go into the shade Pinker right here. I'm gonna put that onto the outer part of my eyelid. So I'm just going to pack that on here like so. You just want to drag it outwards like so, and slightly blend that up into your crease. And yeah, I'm gonna do the same to the other eye. Now this is all I'm gonna do for my eyes, but I'm going to line it with a felt tip eyeliner from Maybelline. This is the Maybelline Hyper Precise All Day Liquid Liner. I'm not creating a wing, I'm literally just creating a place where my eyelashes can land. Putting on my eyelashes was such a struggle. I'm going to tightline my eyes with the Shaded Beauty Kohl liner. I'm just gonna put that in here. Okay guys, so I'm going to dust off the excess powder of my face. I am done with my eyeshadow, so I'm just going to dust it off. I'm using my setting brush from Real Techniques. So I'm gonna go in with my Sephora Micro Smooth Powder. I'm just gonna go all over my face. Now for my dry girls, this is how you set your entire face. You just wanna use a pressed powder. That's completely fine. To prevent the rest of the powders you're gonna put to apply patchy, you just wanna use a compact powder. I'm using my Sephora Micro Smooth Powder, and I'm gonna go in with my M527 brush from Morphe. I'm just going to tap it into the powder and literally just go all over my face. So yeah, now my face is completely set. Now I'm gonna go in to apply my bronzer. Now for bronzing, I often like to use my blush brush. This is the blush brush from Real Techniques. This is an amazing brush. You can use it for a blush or applying bronzer. So I'm using my Fenty Beauty Coconutty bronzer. A bronzer is usually used to warm up the face, to bring warmth back to the face. But sometimes on an everyday basis, if you are doing everyday makeup, you can use your bronzer to sculpt your face. You can skip the cream contour step and just use a bronzer when you are done with your cream products. I don't know if this makes sense, but if you are doing full glam, you can do your cream contour and then come and use your bronzer. So the bronzer is definitely enhancing the contour in this sense, but I'm using this to just warm up my face. Essentially that's what a bronzer does. I don't know if I'm making any sense. And this is how to apply bronzer. You want to dip your brush into the product, tap off the excess, and then for your cheekbones you just want to. Now I'm gonna go onto my forehead and just put the product on my forehead just to bring some warmth and dimension back, literally my forehead and my hairline where I applied the contour previously. Now for my chin and jawline, I'm just gonna go over lightly, just like so. I'm gonna use my bronzer to sculpt out my nose as well. I said you can substitute your cream contour for bronzing in some days, or on some days. That's what I do. So now we are going to apply blush. Blush you can skip. I am crazy about blush. So I did something of a pink eyeshadow look. So I want to use like something close to the pink eyeshadow. So I'm using my Milani Baked Blush in the shade Red Vino. This is an amazing blush. It has a little bit of shimmer to it. I really do like it, and I'm going to use my Real Techniques blush brush. This is the 400 brush. So yeah, I'm just going to dip into my blush, tap off the excess, and to apply blush you want to smile like so and apply it onto the apples of your cheeks upwards. You just don't want to put it on the apples of your cheeks and just leave it there. It's gonna look a little crazy. So yeah, so this is how to apply your blush. I don't know if you see the difference that it makes. You see, I don't have blush here, but I have blush here, and this looks really nice. Plus it goes with my eye makeup, and I love that for me. So I'm going to go ahead and set my entire face. I'm gonna use the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. I've been through 2 bottles of this, and I'm so pleasantly surprised because I've never finished a setting spray before in my life. So yeah, I'm going to melt everything together. So I'm going in with my Huda Beauty Legit mascara. You need a mascara for your lower lashes if you apply top lashes, just so your lower lashes don't look bored at all. Now, not a lot of people like to apply highlighter, so you can skip this step again, but I personally really do love to apply highlighter onto my face and my cheekbones and my brow bone and what's not. So I'm going to use my Morphe M510 brush to apply my highlighter onto my cheekbones, and I'm gonna put some highlighter onto my inner corners as well. This is definitely just to open up the eyes a bit. I'm going to apply that onto the bridge of my nose and the tip of my nose as well. Also my brow bone and my cupid's bow. So I'm going to apply that onto my cheekbones. I'm going to apply it on top of my blush. So how to apply highlighter: you want to put your brush in your pan, tap off the excess and smile, and right on top of your cheekbone, right on top of the apples of your cheek, you just want to apply that upwards like so, so that it kind of meets your brow bone, so that when you turn it just looks really nice. I don't know if you guys can tell, but this is how to apply your highlighter. So I'm gonna do the same here. You can apply highlighter onto your forehead or your chin, really depends on you. I'm not going anywhere today, so I'm just filming in the house. I'm just applying some onto my chin. If I'm going out, I never apply it onto my chin. I literally just do the bridge of my nose, my brow bone, my inner corners, and my cheekbones. That's literally where I apply my highlighter. So I'm going to go off and change, and I'm going to come back and then we're going to continue with the makeup. Okay guys, so when it comes to the lips, you need a really good lip liner that goes with whatever look you want to go with. I always suggest using or having a dark brown lip liner because it goes with everything, nude red or literally any color you want. So today I'm going to be creating a nude lip, glossy nude lip, just because I have a matte eyeshadow. I just want to have a little bit of contrast on my face. I'm going to use my Davis Cosmetics brown lip liner. I'm just going to use that to line my lips. Now I'm gonna go into the center of my lip with the shade Ether from Alma Beauty. Now I'm gonna go over with a gloss. This is the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb Cream. You can leave your lip just like this, but I want to go over with a gloss, so. Okay guys, so we've come to the end of this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was as beginner friendly for you. I hope you learned some tips from this. Everything I use will be listed down below in the description box, probably in the order which I use them, so that's gonna be really easy for you to follow. If you want to get the product, it's gonna be easy for you as well. It doesn't mean you should go out and get new products. If you have products that already work for you, that's completely fine. I'll see you guys in my next video. Take care guys. Bye.